I recorded a video last week, or maybe the week before even, and I did it in my shed, and I had no visuals in front of me, and it all went wrong. And I realised, this old method that I used to do like years ago when I used to just bring up internet tabs and talk about them. I find it a lot better, and it helps me keep on track as well, and so the videos won't get too long. So here goes. I can't remember which video I watched, but there was a video by a pastor in Texas named Robin D. Bullock, and he was talking about in one of his videos. He's a bit like Kim Clement in many ways. He worships the Lord on stage, and the Lord tells him things. And he says he felt as though the Lord was the Lord was showing him that the enemy was trying to create some kind of shortage in shipping, and that's what it has got, just something to do with shipping. And it weren't long after his prophecy. I'm not sure if it was a matter of months or weeks, that the Evergreen ship was stuck in the Suez Canal, and he even did an update on his channel on that, saying that that's what he thought his prophecy was pertaining to. So if that is the case, then this wasn't an accident. It could have been done on purpose, to create a shortage, and that's what he was trying to say. And so that's one image of it. So Evergreen, I think, is the company, and the name of the ship was the Ever Given. Notice here that both begin with the word ever. Fast forward a bit, or rewind a bit even. Yeah, rewind a bit. Or was it fast forward? No, I'll get into what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm not sure when I watched the video, if it was before or after, but Pastor Steve Cioccolante from Australia. I do subscribe to his channel, but I'm using a different browser to actually bring this up. He was talking. His church, his organisation, accepted payments from Bitcoin and I think XRP and a couple of other maybe cryptocurrencies. And I can remember once he was doing a video on cryptocurrencies, saying that they're not necessarily evil; they can be used for good. And I think he's right in that. Just like the internet, it's like the internet can be used for good and evil. And the same for cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin as well. And I mean, I've looked into Bitcoin. I used to be quite against Bitcoin. I was thought, oh no, blockchain technology is a cryptocurrency, it's mark of the beast. And I always stayed away from it. But as time goes on, and especially hearing Steve Cioccolante's thoughts on Bitcoin, I've ended up, trading Bitcoin myself. But I plan to leave all that information about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin to another video. Otherwise, I'll be sat here talking for another half an hour. So I plan to talk about Bitcoin and XRP and a few other cryptocurrencies. But anyway, he had a dream from the Lord. People were donating to his ministry in Bitcoin and so forth. In a dream that these containers were stacked up really high, and one container fell from the top and fell so much it dropped really low. This shipping container, and then he saw the number 7. And he prayed about it after he prayed with people, and he felt as though the Lord was telling him that the crypto markets were about to crash. So this is the Bitcoin logo and the coins that represent it. So Steve Cioccolante had a dream around about here when Bitcoin was at $65,000, and it crashed all the way down to like 32, I think it was, and that was on May the 7th. So you look, May right there. So it does appear that the Lord's dream was correct, and Bitcoin was about to crash. And so before that happened, he prayed about it, and he actually sold all the churches or organizations Bitcoin. I'm not sure if he held any personally as well. So the Lord showed him something, and he got out of Bitcoin. And he did say then, in his opinion, Bitcoin would not recover to where it was. But that's his opinion. It wasn't in the dream. But round about now, Bitcoin is just under this 60 mark. So whether it's going to crash again, and maybe the world's markets are going to crash again, I don't know. But moving on, another crisis emerged recently called the Evergrande crisis. I think it's a property developer over in China who are 300 billion in debt. And a few weeks ago, there was some talks that they could default on their loans, and pretty much plunged the world into some kind of recession, just like in 2008 when the housing market collapsed in many areas and the stock markets went down. And again, Evergrande. This is the Evergrande Centre, and this is the Evergrande Group, which are part of the same thing. And I just want to reiterate again. So you have the Evergrande disaster and the Evergreen disaster on the Ever Given ship. Pastor Dana Dana Coverstone. He had a dream. I subscribe to his channel, but I don't really watch his videos. But I did watch his one dream, where it was last year, and there was a massive financial collapse. And I do believe he was saying it near Christmas, and the stock markets collapsed, and it was a total bear market. So if you don't know what a bear market is, it's when no one's feeling optimistic about stocks and shares, and everyone's selling, and the only people are buying it is people are wanting to buy it at an extreme discount, as it were. People have got more money, but the average investor, doesn't want to lose money and gets out of the market. And there were a lot of people angry with him last year because he came out with this video I think around about the same time last year, and he was talking about Christmas, and even he said he didn't know if it was this Christmas, and it turned out it wasn't this Christmas. Last Christmas, and nothing particularly happened. So his vision about a total financial collapse could come soon. It could be this Christmas even. So these are the warnings that other prophets have given out about the financial collapse. And I could have bought out. I wasn't planning to bring out my own video about this because the Lord has not given me any warning about it until now. Well, I say until now, until about a couple of weeks ago. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a freelance graphic designer, but 3 days a week I do a manual job. And at this manual job, I was talking to my friend, and he was talking about Bitcoin. And he was talking about Bitcoin, and just as he was talking about Bitcoin, there was an emergency stop button like this, screwed with a bolt. So this steel racking, and it actually fell off and slammed down in between us both. That was so weird, it's unbelievable. And I even then suddenly thought, the Lord does show me things in these weird ways. And I even said to my friend, I hope that doesn't mean Bitcoin's about to collapse. And I rested it somewhere, and I put it on this shelf, and then a few minutes later it collapsed again. Boom. And this time the actual button pressed in, and it shut off the entire system. That's what it does, press the button in case you get hair stuck in the belt or something. And it shuts the entire system down. So that's what happened. So it shut the entire system down. And then the entire system was shut down. The maintenance came round to fix this back onto its bolt. And if you watch my previous videos, the testimony of the bolts. And this big guy came along, and he put his bag of tools down to fix it. And all of a sudden he turned around. I was watching from 10 meters away when this happened. And my friend told me what they were saying to each other when it actually happened. So apparently, when he turned around, the bloke says to the other bloke, he says, "Don't you lot be taking the mick out of me." Well, I didn't say mick, it meant, taking it was, begin with P, swear word. And then, as he said that, he tripped over his toolbox and fell flat on the ground. And he was a big man, 260 pounds or something, maybe, 16 stone, if you're from Britain, like me. And he made a massive big bang on the floor and shook everything. And immediately, I thought to myself, is the Lord trying to show me something here in regards to these crises? So, you got the Evergreen crisis, then you have the Evergrande crisis that's not yet coming to fruition. As investors were talking, as it was in the news, and they were talking about what to do, I think it was slightly averted. And I've been thinking to myself, with these things that's been happening, and this caused Bitcoin to do a mini crash again. Not as much as it may, but it went through a mini crash. And I was thinking to myself, is the Lord showing me that these two crashes in Bitcoin represent the two times when these fell off the wall? And this, by the way, I believe he's using Bitcoin to get a point to me in general. So if these two just represent the crypto markets, which are quite small, the crypto markets are like $2 trillion. Does this mean that when this man fell over, and it was like a huge earthquake when he fell over, it was something that was like, 50 times worse than this button falling off the wall. So I'm thinking to myself, does this man, if the Lord is showing me something, represent the stock market crash? I'm not talking about something as small as crypto market crash, but the actual stock market crash, something that Dana Coverstone was talking about, where the stock market's absolutely crashed. I mean, the S&P stock markets, worldwide, I think they're at 300 trillion. So that's like, if they go down, the crypto markets will go down. But the point of my video is, and I do believe the Lord wants me to give a warning here, because I have experienced something myself when the Lord has shown me something, and to tie these things together, that maybe, this is my opinion, this is not so much about stocks and shares, that there is a massive event coming so big that obviously if the event is so big, the stocks and shares will go down. The stock markets go down, all other kind of markets like crypto markets and things like that, and shares in companies and people's employers, if they buy shares with the employers, where they're pretty much even risk free, even those can still fall, and you don't lose money but you don't make money in the end. All kinds of things. So I'm kind of thinking, I do believe the Lord wants me to issue a warning myself on this one, that there is something big coming. It's so big that it will cause the stock markets to go flat. Like Dana Coverstone was saying, it will be a total bear market. I must say that when I was listening to Robin D. Bullock, he says that the markets will go down, but they will bounce back. As though when this happens, it's not like it's not the end, as it were. It's we'll get through it with prayer and that kind of thing, and the markets will bounce back. So I don't know if it is just to do with the markets or if it is something massive. I know when 9/11 happened, that was nothing to do with the stock markets as such, but there's such the loss of life and such a terrible, horrible, evil act that did obviously crash the stock markets as well. It's like a domino effect. So I don't know if something big is going to happen this time, which causes a domino effect onto the not crypto, the stock markets, and then the crypto markets and so forth, or if it is a financial thing and it's just the stock market that crashes. But that in itself, sorry, but that in itself is really bad, because if the stock market crashes, that's how the world works, and everything else will be in recession and prices go up in inflation and all that kind of thing. So I do believe this is, in my opinion, a warning from the Lord that something big is coming. And if you are an investor of any sorts, take steps to mitigate that. If there's something you can do to, stop you from losing loads of money in the future, to make wiser investments based on the fact that something big may be coming. I mean, I don't know when. It could be by this Christmas, or it could be years away. I don't know. But if the Lord reveals any of that to me, I'll be making videos, the Lord willing, in the future about it. So yeah. Oh yeah, nearly. This is the mistake I made last time. This is the mistake I made last time. I did this in my shed last time, and I forgot to get to the crux of the entire video. Anyway, so the Ever Given, it begins with the word ever. From the ship, the Evergreen, and also Evergrande starts with ever. And I couldn't help notice the coincidence that if these are manufactured incidents in order, because Satan is trying to bring in the New World Order, although he can only bring it in if the Lord allows him. I was thinking, is there anything significant about the word ever? That the enemy just try to telegraph things to people. Not that I'm trying to work out Satan's plans, but I do notice these things. And if you've got any more information to add on that things that things that start with ever. I mean, I did even look. I can actually pause it now. Wait a second. Pause record. Alright, resume. Yeah, so we're looking at this the other day. Words that start with ever, everlastingness, everydayness. What the heck? Everydaynesses. I didn't know that was even a word. Everlastingly, ever blooming, everlastings, everdayness, everlasting, everything. Evergreens. Everglades. Been there. Right then. What the word what stood out? I couldn't think. So these are the words. I'm trying to think. What was the word? Maybe. I mean, if the New World Order are wanting to put the word ever in there, I'm trying to think of the reason. Or maybe it's just they've just chosen a word and it's you know. Maybe that's it. Yeah, everlastingly and everlasting. Maybe that one's one that caught my attention. That obviously the kingdom of the Lord is everlasting, but Satan thinks he can overrule the Lord, bring his new world order, and have his kingdom everlasting. But it won't happen. Obviously, it says in God's word that he will bring the king of the Antichrist to nothing when he appears with the breath of his mouth. It's in Revelation. So that's one more thing. So that's something that I just noticed at the end. That everything started with the word ever, and if there is a massive if this new crash or event that causes a crash comes in the future, starts with the word ever, you'll know that it's of the evil one. I do believe. So if you're not yet a Christian, find a Bible, even if it's dusty, get it and open it and start reading the Gospels and the Book of Acts. Take it from there and ask Jesus to reveal Himself to you. So, Lord willing, I will be back in a new video at some point in the near future.